What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles, welcoming you to another edition of Lyles Movie Files. Joining me, as always, is little brother Jace. Bro Shot, how are you on this fine Wednesday?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm cooling, can't complain. Had a nice day at work today. Didn't have to do too much. Got to go to the aquarium, so that was fun. Um, Surprisingly, there's a bunch of stuff going on, and we know that we're not going to see a dramatic arrival of Chief today. He's sick. I think all of the Kendrick fans came at him on social media, scared him off, and he was letting the heat die down a little bit after he called all of it Bush. So Chief will be back hopefully next week, assuming they don't catch him and run him off anymore.
I was gonna say, he's gonna magically come out in the comments like I heard that.
I hope he does. That's true. I text that too. So it's not like I said anything surprising. All right. Let's say what's up to everybody in the chat before we start things off. Justin Huber, the movie guy. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's the Movie Files crew. What's up, fellow citizens?
What's going on?
Hooty hoo. What's up, Jamie? David Thanos. Hey yo. What's up, guys? Rearranging the old toy room. Yeah, that is it's really interesting, especially when you have things that have accessories that are long that can of course knock over while you're carefully going back to the back, of course, because it's never that simple. And then it's like boom. And it's just like, why?
Again, as I always say, folks, you see this room behind him, and that's just a quick stand. If he actually was broadcasting from a room where all these toys are, you'd be like, oh, now I totally understand his play. Because it's like, oh, let me move this thing just a little bit. No.
Basically, no. King Collector, the king is in the building. What's up, y'all? What's up, King Collector? Ryan Daly, what's up, Fowlers? We're in the house. Yeah, come on. This is Michael Solis. Snake Guys, howdy, partners.
Howdy.
What's up? You're late.
Meaning, he's usually the first one in the building.
Right.
I saw Justin here. I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah. Snow Glare, no Chief. David Thanos. So he's hiding with Drake. Chief is not like us. Well played. Yeah, he took some heat from last week's rant.
Yes.
And a lot of people saw it. So, before we get started, I want to thank everybody who came through to my appearance on the Loading Snacks, hanging out with Jose, Gage, and Sin last night. Thanks. That was really cool seeing so many of you all there. Appreciate it. And let's have some fun tonight too. I talked a lot, so I still got some more things to talk about. Shockingly. First off, you and I watched a movie last weekend. I did on Valentine's Day. I don't think you were that bold. I think you maybe watched it on Saturday.
I watched it on Saturday. A little small movie, indie movie.
Uh-huh. David Thanos, them guys are cool people. Absolutely. Yeah, those are my guys. I've known Gage's sister since elementary school, and Jace actually was taught by his mother. So our ties with the family run deep.
Oh yeah.
I know. How is it possible to find time to do another thing?
Ask him how his voice is going to be tomorrow on Lyle's Figure Files.
Oh, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm planning not to talk at all tomorrow. So we'll see. Jeff, you know, he had to come through and represent. I appreciate it, James. It was really cool to see it. Like, oh yeah, oh my guys. What live were you on? Loading Snacks. Let me see here.
You put the link to the podcast on the show notes.
Yes, I should do that. That would make sense. I'll do that. But yeah, Loading Snacks, they're absolutely recommend you all come through, check them out. Let's see here. There we go.
I was watching it on Facebook yesterday. Like, okay, I know that guy.
Volume. Oh yeah, because you watch it on the regular too. It was like an away game. You got to show off for your team. I do appreciate it. Here's the link from my appearance on Loading Snacks last night. Whoops. Yeah, there we go. Let's get this guy's chat comments out of here. But here it is. That was the appearance on the show, hanging out with Loading Snacks. My guys, good dudes. There we go. Let's zoom back.
Jeff, be sure to give him a like, man. You're on your own on a podcast and you didn't give it a like.
It's not. I don't have it. That's not I'm not logged in on that. I follow, of course, and subscribe. King Glider. Okay, I wish I'd known about it. But it's always good to. I did post it on Instagram. I need to fire my promotions team too, along with the marketing crew that puts it out that my first name is Lyle. But let's talk about Captain America: Brave New World. Let me pull up some quick background information on this old low rent movie here that Marvel Studios put out.
Mm-hmm.
As of the dedicated weekend from February 14th through the 16th, it made 88.8 million. Over the 4-day weekend, it made over 100 million. I think it's 101 when it was all said and done. Right now, domestically, it's at 106.3 million. Worldwide, internationally, it made 98.2 million. And so worldwide now it's at 205 million. Okay. Not bad. It's not, of course, the highest grossing movie ever for a Marvel Cinematic Universe film, but pretty solid. Before we get into the box office, what did you think about it?
I really enjoyed the movie. I thought he did a very good job. I think even if you did not, I think Falcon and Winter Soldier is borderline required viewing before it, but I don't think you really need it. It helps. It's a really good story to help get into Brave New World, but you don't. It's almost you could jump in there right after Endgame and be like, okay, cool, this is what we're in, and I appreciated that. There is a lot of stuff, Sidewinder was cool. I liked his character. I like Harrison Ford is Thunderbolt Ross. Thought he did a really good job. I'm trying to think what I can do without spoiling. Yeah, I mean, and again, and the thing is, I think Anthony Mackie does a very good job. It's like, hey, I am new Captain America. I am not a sidekick. I am commanding this thing, and I think he did a really good job on that. So I say anybody who hasn't seen it, check it out. You'll enjoy it.
Maybe the Isaiah Bradley episode of Captain Soldier. What is it, 5 or 6 episodes? I feel like that show went by so fast. It was like, oh, it was good. Everybody keeps doing. Kelly Cox, what's going on, Kelly?
What's going on, Kelly?
So my quick synopsis is it was really good. I'm confused, baffled, befuddled, bamboozled even as to why right now it stands at 49% rotten on Rotten Tomatoes. Note the audience score, the people who actually pay for it, say it's 80%. So it's a wild disconnect between the critics who are in full-on Oscar guzzling mode and the people who are like, I need to go see a good movie. So I don't know. I don't know what expectations some critics have on Marvel movies. I feel like they're letting their comic book bias kind of shine out. And yes, we all have our biases. I was hoping to like it, but if it was bad, I have no problem saying, "Oh man, this wasn't good." I don't know what they were thinking.
Here's the deal. Yeah, and this is to me the easiest one. Like Captain America and the Winter Soldier is a comic book movie, yes, but it is a spy thriller also, and that should if you were doing any reasonable, honest thing about what movies are, that would have been up for Best Picture or one of those Oscar movies. It would not have been shut out of rewards. It would have been up just as much as Skyfall and some of those other spy thriller movies. They don't, when they're in their Oscar ridiculousness, they don't actually want to see a movie that's not Oscar bait. I thought, because I read some of the reviews and they're like, oh, it's just, lacking story. What was it? It lacks a story. It's very formulaic. It's like, it's an action movie telling a story. And gets to the next thing. And hey, guess what? The new part of your book is open. You can't, it's like, hey.
Hold on. Before you go any further, I mentioned this last week, but I don't understand why comic movies have this microscope where, oh, they have to change the game every time. You never hear, maybe you do. They'll go, oh, this biopic has all the tropes, but they still watch them. They still praise them. They talk about how great they are. Period piece. Hold up. They have a period piece and it's, oh yeah, this is amazing. It's history. Okay. So what? And I say this like in all kinds of genres. Musicals, westerns, sci-fi, fantasy, political thrillers, whatever. But I feel like comic book movies have this, oh, they've got to be like Logan. They've got to be like Dark Knight every time, or it's just not good enough for us. Why is that?
Why? Because they need to discredit it as a medium. It's not because they're not trying to be honest brokers. They technically want this industry to, that part of the industry to fail, which would technically take the rest of it down, which makes absolutely no sense. Because what they call popcorn movie is what drives the movie theaters. That's what keeps the lights on. And they just continuously hate it. It's not what they want. It's just low dribble to them, and they just hate it. Because I was gonna say, like, let's go with the Bob Dylan movie. That was Oscar bait as soon as it was released. I don't know anybody who's seen it, but it's up for Best Picture. Oh, once again, greatest movie ever. But as you said, it's a biopic. We've seen plenty of biopics. All you have to do is just not screw it up, basically, and we love it. Because it can have, it's got great actors. It's got a great story. It's based on the book that we've already read. It's perfect. But because they can't get a book, they don't want to read a comic book because that's just not what they do. So if we can't read a book and say it's great and give it its Best Picture nod, they hate
it. You said popcorn movie, but Conclave did have some really cool merchandise at AMC where you get the Pope's hat and put your popcorn in it. So I thought that was pretty good. It's a popcorn movie. And these movies, and it's funny because they were like, Conclave, one of the Best Picture nominees, just made over 100 million. It's been out
in 100 million
theaters for so long. What'd you say?
You said 100 million?
100 million. And it's like, congratulations. Welcome to the party, pal. And it's so wild because it's, hey, we've got to protect these movies that no one wants to go pay to see. And let me see here because I want to make sure I'm talking. $20 million. So Conclave has grossed over $95.5 million on a $20 million production budget. So of course, we gotta get in on these movies that are doing so much more with so little in terms of their budget. But it's like, come on.
But again, that's only when it comes to Oscar baits. When it comes to a horror movie or something that has a really small budget, like some of the movies I'm going to mention later on, there's never any celebrating like this is really a great movie. It's okay, whatever. We'll never revisit it.
David Thanos, I like that it's tying loose ends from another Marvel movie. I enjoyed that too. And one thing I really enjoyed about it was I feel like with so much of the multiverse saga, it's been, here's a story introducing new people. We might follow up on them. Maybe we won't. Have we seen Shang-Chi and anything else since his first movie that came out basically started the saga? Yeah, we've seen a bunch of the Black Widow characters and they were like, we got to quickly put in some more Black Widow characters because she's dead. And very little with the Eternals outside of What If. What If has done more with these characters than the MCU proper has. Mm-hmm. And I just think it's funny, but Falcon, Captain America, Brave New World, came up with some stuff that paid off from way back in the early days of the MCU, and it made sense. Some people are going, "Oh, it's not even a Captain America movie," but it's like
okay,
an MCU movie.
like I mean, the idea of it's not a Captain America movie does not track to me. It's Cap again, very much. It's Cap's driving the whole story. It's Cap trying to figure out how to navigate this new world. I mean, it's hey, a world without the Avengers, but this guy is a leader. What do we do? How do I actually? What do I do to best affect the world I live in? And I have to navigate a whole lot of things. I thought. I mean, it Civil War level. It's a Cap movie. I would argue it is because it's at the end of the day, it's Cap, not everybody else in there. It's Cap. He's a focus.
Yeah, especially right down to the last scene in Civil War was like Cap and Bucky. This one is Captain America, and he's there, and in a situation where I'm like, don't you need some more help? And I'm like, oh, guess you don't. And there was definitely some signs that they did some reshoots, and it's like, all right, whatever. I mean, I don't care. Ultimately, the story works. But I just thought it was like, wow, you guys are some haters on this movie. And Jalen says, part of me is fine with the changing tide, so we can weed out those that don't truly love our genre. But the downside is less money and opportunities for comic adaptations and genre films in general. Snowglare says, I think they could use less money, but yeah, popularity is a constant balancing act. So
Well,
on that
I mean,
end, I think it's really go ahead.
I was going to say this didn't have a $400 million budget either. It's hey, we are technically introducing a new character, and we do need to hey make sure the budget's good. We don't need to go over budget. Make it grounded story because we don't have to have super amounts of CGI and special. I mean, we have a lot of practical effects in here, so we don't have to go crazy. Like we don't have 9,000 multiple characters and doing all these stunts. It's a couple guys doing some stunts, some flights, some I mean helicopters, I mean airplanes, and we're good. So that's actually, I mean, if you're Disney, you would actually appreciate it. We're not going crazy to make money, and that's a good thing for us.
Did you say there's a lot of practical effects in this movie?
I'm saying like you had all right, we have submarine, we have airplanes. These are actual things. We don't have to do a whole lot of CGI because we have Iron Man, we have Spider-Man, we have all these other characters. We have to make everything go. It has to
I would bet they have a lot more CGI in this than you think.
I'm sure. I'm pretty sure they don't have a Falcon costume running around, but it's still not as crazy as having 10,000 superheroes on the screen at the same time.
Yeah, I don't think it's as good as Civil War.
No.
But Civil War is way up there. And also, it's the third film in the Cap trilogy, and it's built up on so much stuff, including one of my still favorite films in the MCU, The Winter Soldier. And it just happens to bring in the Avengers. But it's also based on tons of things that have happened with the Avengers in their group movies and their standalone movies. So it's like there's a lot happening. And it introduces 3 great additions to the fold, or introduces 2 additions and then an alter ego for another one they've already established. So I love Civil War.
I mean, Civil War is the end. I mean, let's just say Civil War is the end of a book. This is new start of a new graphic novel. I mean, your new book.
What's up,
going on?
Prime?
And they should be like, hey, we're introducing some storylines. Let's see where it goes from here. I mean, that's really what we all want. We don't want to actually complain about, oh, I need to watch 20,000 movies. It's like, you can technically watch this movie as this guy starting off. It wouldn't be the best way to do it, but you could.
I'd argue with that too. Part of what made the Infinity Saga work was it was a connected story. And people want to complain, but it's not like anybody, this is a bad example, but you couldn't go into Rise of Skywalker and go, well, I don't want to watch the other movies that tie into it. That's on you. This is the 9th installment of a saga. And if you can't be bothered to watch what happened before it, you can't complain that you didn't get into it. You didn't like it. I mean, you can't go into Brave New World and go, I don't know these characters. This movie's not good. Or I don't want to watch this Disney Plus show. That's part of the deal. And it's a continual saga. And, that's what every other genre allows you to do. A James Bond film is basically a James Bond one-off movie. And then they go on to the next one. Daniel Craig was the first Bond and had like a continual set of stories happen in one 4 or 5 arc where what happened to him in Quantum of gosh, why did I say
Come on,
Quantum
bro.
Solace?
Can you bring up better
Casino
examples?
Royale
Nice.
mattered all the way through to the last terrible one. What was that one? Which I can't stand.
No Time to Die.
Yes, gosh, so bad. They had so much there. You just drop the ball.
Yeah.
Agent of Gen Z. Hey Jeff, I'm here. Welcome. How are you tonight? Thank you, Kelly. Yeah, so it's just really like you've got to. That's the whole point of comic books. You can't go into That's why they keep updating and doing new versions of their universe because it's so hard for people to get along. No, that's the one thing about I mean, all right, so you can't go. It is interesting because we don't do this with anything else. With sports, we don't go. Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback of all times because he's won 3 Super Bowls.
Jeff,
Huh?
sorry. All right. Sports is a bad one because they try and make you forget anything happened before.
Tom Brady won't let you forget. Hey, I've got 7 Super Bowl rings. Troy Aikman, I won 3 Super Bowls.
You can just I'm watching. Me and my wife are watching a new show. What is it? Handmaid's Tale. I couldn't jump into season 4 and say, "Oh, I don't get it," because I don't feel like putting time in. That's as much as a award shows, it's because it built off the thing we know before. And comic books are not judged that way. Everybody else is given that, hey, you put Breaking Bad, it's not as good if you jumped in,
Better
season 3. Or hey, did you watch Better Call Saul? Yeah. But did you wouldn't have liked Better Call Saul unless you watched Breaking Bad. So the comic books are 100% judged on a different scale. It's you have to be great, and it has to be self-contained. And if it's not, we hate
it. And if you can be as little comic booky as possible, that's even better.
Yeah.
David Thanos asked, "Did you guys get the Thunderbolts trailer at your theater?" Yeah, I guess it was the same one as the big game spot. I am not at all excited about Thunderbolts. As much as I was excited about Brave New World and very much invested and hopeful for Fantastic Four, I have zero excitement for this movie. I like Bucky, and I'm kind of like, man, Buck, I wish you had better characters around you, but Thunderbolts to me reflects poor planning for this fourth phase of Marvel Studios because there was so much more they could have done with the Thunderbolts, as opposed to making them a rip-off version of Suicide Squad, which is just it's like the first time where it feels like they're chasing something that DC did, and it didn't really work that well. So I'm like, why do the exact same thing that they did, and only with your anti-heroes? Don't understand it. There was a way better path to do it. They introduced Baron Zemo. They could have done this.
They're not good anti-heroes. I mean, I think that's they're going with. I mean, this is the problem. Whole phase 4 is it seems like you're using C to D level characters to replace what has been better. I mean, better characters, and we talked about this after I watched. I watched the movie on Saturday, and it was like, hey, this shouldn't mean you could have used Captain America and Falcon and Winter Soldier. That could have introduced your actual Thunderbolts, and it would have actually made a really compelling story, and it could have springboarded into this really nicely. But they didn't think about doing it for some reason when they actually went, hey, let's use the Thunderbolts. And then we put an asterisk on it. It's going to be hilarious that it really is going to piss off the people who read the Thunderbolt comics and be like, why the hell didn't you use this?
That is the one thing I'm not so much pissed off. Just like, you really dropped the ball and you had it right there to do. I mean, because the timing was perfect. They could have always done this iteration of Thunderbolts, always, but it was served up for them. The Avengers are gone. Who could step up and fill the void? It is right there. And then, of course, if you want to do Sentry, you've got the void. And just as long as you avoid the void. Jamelin says, I just want one good film at a time. The continuity will come. There's a way to make standalone stories work and still be connected. Marvel Studios did it very well for years.
Okay.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that.
I mean, because every Marvel movie was, I mean, from Iron Man was not. It was a connected story. It was you like Iron Man, but you really got hyped when you saw Samuel Jackson say talking about the Avengers.
Oh, that's untrue. That's untrue too. I really liked Iron Man. I didn't see Nick
again. You enjoyed it, but when you saw that part after because you didn't see it the first time because you left because of the credits roll. That's but amazing. The rest of us, when we actually knew, we stayed there and watched through the credits and like, oh crap, y'all are bringing this is your plan to bring the Avengers. Okay, I'm willing to sit here and watch whatever you guys got. I mean, because think about it, Captain America could be a standalone movie, except after the credits, it's we're about to bring you the Avengers. Get ready. I mean, so they've never done standalone movies. I mean, at all. I mean, it's all been continued.
I think they've done standalone films, but they've always made sure to staple something to connect to the larger story. So, in that end, Jamelin's right. Like Hulk, Iron Man, Thor, and the first Avenger were definitely standalone stories where they stapled, hey, for more, like in the comic books, to continue following the adventures of Iron Man or Hulk, see Avengers 2012. And
okay, but they put
Iron Man 2 was only one that was
that staple means they were trying to have it continue. Like I mean, continuity. I mean, if you don't watch the was it Fast and Furious movies, if you didn't see the post-credit scene, you didn't miss anything. But if you missed anything in those post-credit scenes on any of the Marvel movies, you 100% missed something.
Well, the Fast and Furious are another great example of a story that continues on. Like you can't pick it up. You can't go from 2 to 5 and go, what happened? You'd be totally lost. And I also think that Iron Man 2 is not really a stand-up. It is a, hey, let's connect everything that we've done so far, Hulk and Iron Man, and then let's make a bridge to Thor and Captain America. I mean, just the random placement of the shield. That is all about let's set up the rest of it. And here's War Machine. He's going to be part of this thing too. That is the one that's not a standalone. It is a bridge. And we got Black Widow in this thing too. Lots of hands reaching, trying to pull and connect stuff together. Thor, you can watch the whole movie. If you happen to not watch the post credits, it's a standalone movie. And I think that's where they kind of bridge that, where you could watch the movies and enjoy them for the story they're telling. Like, oh, that was a great story about Captain America. Why did he wake up in the modern time? Oh, shoot. Okay. So, but I think that's been the part of why people have enjoyed these movies so much. And I think some of why phase 4, and I guess we're in phase 5 now, hasn't worked as well because there's not as much connective tissue. And the movies haven't been good either. Like, I don't know how I think they made some mistakes with Eternals. And like, Black Widow has its own problems.
I mean, like, if you look at as much as I will never revisit this movie, Thor Love and Thunder introducing Hercules meant nothing. It was like, okay, you guys going to put Hercules in your next movie? No, we're going to put him in the next Thor movie whenever we get around to it. That in, as you said, like with Shang-Chi, we haven't seen him pop up in any movie where you could have, I mean, like, to me, it wouldn't make sense. It would make perfect sense to have Shang-Chi pop up in Daredevil Reborn. I don't think it's going to happen, but it perfectly would make sense. Like, hey, I don't care if you see a billboard or something, you see mention of the 10 rings in that. I don't think it's going to happen. And I think they need to get back to let's put these breadcrumbs back into everything and act like it's a whole connected world.
I think a post-credit scene that would have been really good For everybody who has not watched Brave New World, this is a informational tidbit, not a spoiler. There's only one post-credit scene, and you have to wait through all of it. Or you can watch it like Justin on Disney Plus. It's not really important to sit through, but since you're there, I told my cousin, you're already there. You can just wait and watch it. But having
Hmm.
Sam see any of the characters who we've introduced in phase 4 and 5, him meeting up with Shang-Chi and like, hey, I've heard some things about you. I think that would have done a ton. Like, oh man, now we're finally connecting some stuff. That would have been really cool. Or him just meeting with some other characters we've established. That would have been really great. Because, like, oh yeah, that's right. You guys have to put another Avengers together because you've got 2 Avengers movies coming. And I think that would have been really exciting. And also connecting some more stuff.
It was after was it after Winter Soldier?
Yep.
Yeah, and that's what was like, hey, I need a new team. Like, let's go. Like, I mean, just introducing some of those characters you had seen, and those like, hey, you're probably going to be an Avenger. Let's bring them all, put them in here. Quick cameo at the end of the movie. That'll work.
And it made sense for the Avengers to swap the whole team because that happened in issue 12 of the actual comic book anyway. It was like whole new team of Avengers. So yeah, David, you mentioned something I definitely want to bring up again. Thunderbolts remind me of that movie, The Losers, from way back. Yeah. And that team had Negan, it had Black Superman, it had Captain America, it had Human Torch, it had Gamora. And who else am I forgetting in this?
Because the sniper has not been in any Marvel movie. That's the only one that hasn't been one.
He's the only one. So
yeah,
it was just. Oh right, we had Heimdall. Yeah, that's who it was. He wasn't just Black Superman and Hobbs and Shaw. We had Heimdall. So the whole crew of the Losers is deep ties to comic book movies now. Snowglare, Thunderbolts has a better concept than Suicide Squad. Should just use that. Absolutely. I mean, it was perfectly timed. The only problem was they have not kept their villains around to make it work. Justin says Thunderbolts looks bad. I want a movie about hope. Superman, here we come.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I got the whole full summer movie trailers ready. I had Fantastic Four, I had Superman, Thunderbolts. I mean, and I was the accountant too. I was like, all right, cool. Remind me, I actually want to go to the movies this summer. Great job.
I am looking forward to Accountant too. Snowglare, Losers was a good comic. It's a good movie too. Davin B, what's up, man? Super stoked for Thunderbolts. Granted, I've always been a fan of the Thunderbolts comic, emo superheroes taking on Superman. I'm down. But they're not really superheroes. This fight it would be like Superman fighting Captain Boomerang, Deadshot, no kryptonite in sight. And let's see, who else could I throw in there?
Throw in somebody who has a little bit of power, but not on the level of power.
Who has the power on the Thunderbolt squad? Guardian?
Like I mean, it's like you're putting Superman. I mean, Booster Gold's the best thing you got against Doomsday. It's not a chance.
I will not hear from you any slander on Booster Gold, sir.
Hey, Booster was trying. Okay, look, I don't. I mean, this is gonna be a whole. They're gonna have a big task. Okay.
King Collector says, I wish he would have stayed Falcon. It was nothing wrong with the character Falcon. See, it's funny because I don't feel like they think that Falcon's cool enough, but they've not incorporated something with Falcon, his power, his one power that would really make him, that would take him up to another level. And I feel like not including that, maybe they thought it was corny, but I think if they included it, and they're like, oh, because when they were like, hey, let's make Falcon Captain America in the comic books, it's like, okay, I mean, whatever. Could have just boosted Falcon up as a main top tier hero. It's like, yeah, that ship is long.
That did not work for Cyborg. I mean, and I know you say it's because he was based on another team, but sometimes they try and boost heroes to make them a top tier, and it does not work. I mean, but look at the success of Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn is the greatest hero that DC has ever made, and they will not let you forget it.
I've already forgotten that.
Oh shit!
I'm so annoyed. See, I really liked Harley, and they just And it's funny because Deadpool has been treated the same way as Harley Quinn, just in your face all the time. But I think Ryan Reynolds providing good Deadpool movies has helped so much. Where it's like, okay, and he's obnoxious and wild like he is in the comic books, but it's just like, okay, it's freshen him up a bit. Whereas Harley Quinn, it's like, oh my gosh, please stop. When they did Heroes in Crisis and Harley Quinn and Booster Gold got away from Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, I was like, y'all have gone too far.
Yeah, because man, Harley is she could be a really good bad guy, but then we're gonna make her an anti-hero. It's like no, like why don't do that was the bridge too far for me. It was like, no, I'm good.
Yeah. Badger Wolf Prime says the MCU seems to be drifting further from serious stories like The Winter Soldier and more into the Guardians of the Galaxy humor.
Okay. The Winter Soldier is this is one of the things. Winter Soldier is a spy thriller movie. It is not, I mean, if you took off the costumes, it's a spy movie. And I think it would be recognized as that. And it has this great crossover appeal, but it is not, I mean,
with the helicarriers in there?
I mean, again, that's future tech. I mean, nothing would stop that from happening.
Okay.
But if you're in a comic book world, it's better to be. We don't need to be. I mean, this is my opinion. It's better to be. Hey, we have people flying and all this stuff. We don't need to be grounded. Dark Knight, yeah, that's what you want to do. But we have a world where Superman exists, or we have a world where Thor exists. We can't be grounded and act like everything is not the case. It's got to be bigger than our normal lives. No.
I'm trying to think. Thor: Love and Thunder is an awful film, just because it's stupid. I think Guardians humor works for the Guardians, and I'm trying to think of other MCU films outside of the Taika Waititi Thor films that have gone a little too heavy to the comedy. Because Eternals was not. Black Widow was corny, but that's because they don't treat Red Guardian right. What else is there that was kind of off in terms of
Shang-Chi was humor, a little too much humor.
Yeah, that's because they didn't trust him as a cool character, which they should have. Ted on his own movie. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness wasn't comedy. And No Way Home wasn't really comedy either. All right, so let's see. Agent of Gen Z. Prepare for Paramount, G.I. Joe, and Transformers crossover. 11 movies about family.
Yeah. Again, I actually worry that they can't pull off the Energon universe into a cohesive amount of movies, but it would be really cool if they did.
I said this last night on Loading Snacks. It doesn't take much. They don't even have to come up with anything. Just do what they did in comic books. Simple.
They don't do that. I mean, like the easiest thing to do is the thing they don't want to do. I mean, it makes no sense. As I said, I think it has to be they don't want to give a lot of these writers credit for writing. Basically, I mean, because they could use say like adapted screenplay, but they do not want to actually give comic book writers any kind of leverage. I don't know why, but they just don't want to do it. They'll use parts of an idea, but they do not want to say, "Hey, this is how we did it. Okay, let's do it like this." It makes no sense.
Agent of Gen Z. Sorry. Yeah, the MCU severely underrepresents Hulk. I feel like I disagree with that. I think the challenge for Hulk is you gotta get it right. And I think they, had licensing issues where they couldn't do standalone Hulk films for a long time. So then Hulk became a really key supporting character. But I don't know if I'd say they underrepresented him. He just hasn't had movies. I mean, Hawkeye had a TV show. I don't know if you would consider that representing him really well. Black Widow just got a movie, and that was after they killed her. Spoiler.
Okay. I mean, this is always, we're always going to do, if I'm a default to anything, I'm going to go to Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Easy. Everybody can look at it. But the Hulk world, where they had a lot of Hulk villains in there, would be very cool to see in the movie form. And I think if you've seen good Hulk stories, you definitely we can really use some good Hulk stuff. Oh no, I mean I think was no, you were talking about Thor: Love and Thunder should have been Ant-Man Quantumania. Like that could have been switched up. They can't. I. Now, are they able to do Incredible Hulk movies now?
Believe so. And there's a rumor of some characters that they were trying to consider and bring into Brave New World. She-Hulk was one of them. And I'm really glad they didn't, because they just did not handle her right to fit the tone of that story. I don't know. I mean, I think much like you say a lot of the time about Black Widow, the more Black Widows that exist in the MCU, the less impactful Natasha feels. To me, the more Hulk you introduce in the MCU, it's 10 times that. Because, oh, look, here's another gamma infested or gamma radiated character running around. Like a couple characters, cool. Too many, all right. I mean, then it's just another superhero fight with people who are super powerful. That's boring.
And I'm not really sure after Infinity Endgame, was Hulk just completely wiped out of power scale, or was he just completely, or was he just hurt?
What are you talking about?
Like, I mean, after he snaps, the Infinity Gauntlet, is he just wounded completely, or is he still is he recovered from that? I mean, and this is one of those things. I don't advocate anyone do this, but probably to get the answers would probably be watch She-Hulk, and I don't want anybody to do that to themselves. I mean, that's just me.
About to say, I mean, he's like, fine in She-Hulk.
I mean, so
yeah.
I mean, would you? They lay a groundwork, I think, if you wanted to do another Hulk movie. There's groundwork to do it now. I mean, you just have to say, hey, are we done with She-Hulk completely, guys? And then we can go from there. I don't know if you want to have a She-Hulk and Hulk team-up movie, and I don't think that would work at all.
It could, but not from the way they did She-Hulk.
And that's the problem. You have to, I mean, Marvel has not, I'm sorry, MCU Marvel has not wiped away a story. I'm going to cut myself off because they did 100% when they got rid of Secret Invasion in the Marvels. They're like, yeah, that story didn't happen. But most of the movies, they try not to wipe away. It's like,
And Jalen says, or you can do arguably better storytelling where it's all connected, but you still got a nice solid story in each issue. Exactly. And I think that's what they did really well in the Infinity Saga. And they have not done that nearly as successful with the Multiverse Saga. Margay says, any luck that we'll get the Thunderbolts in like half a decade when they realized they needed a James Gunn version.
See, and the funny thing to me is by using the asterisk, I wonder if they're like, I think this is my, I think I'm cribbing off you or Chief, where it's like, hey, the first half of the movie is what you see in the trailer, and the second half is what you don't, is the unexpected part. And it's, we got this, kids. Get out of the way. Let the adults take over. I think that could be, I mean, there's a reason that asterisk is there. And I wonder is like why they're doing it. So
see, I think if what you're implying were the case, that'd be great. But you can't do that movie and not tell everybody about it. So it's we're gonna see that.
You don't think they could I mean, on one level
with social media, no way. No,
but Marvel. Beside Tom Holland and Benedict Cumberbatch, most of them have been rock solid on we do not spoil movies.
They could.
I'm thinking you could. Other than looking at tea leaves and looking at everybody's schedule, because there's only one name everybody we know that's who he's playing, but everybody else. They're just in the movie until you're like, oh, shoot, it's you.
It's you. Yeah, that's probably too vague for you to get that Revenge of the Sith reference. Michael Solis says, I feel like Black Widow had a good movie that was left on the editing floor. Maybe if it got put out before Infinity War. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. All 100%. And absolutely.
Absolutely.
The one, the funny thing to me is, I now, I mean, when I'm watching the Infinity Saga, which I haven't done in way too long, which is a great thing, but I would put that movie in its actual spot, and I'd be like, yeah, I probably will like it more than I even did, and I like it. I think I'm like, oh, okay, it fits in right in after, after Captain. I mean, well, after Civil War, like in its rightful spot, ready to go into Infinity War.
Then of course you got the problem. Where's everybody else? But I guess they do wipe them out with a snap. So it's just, maybe I should watch it that way.
I mean, remember,
But,
Elena doesn't. I mean, she is not returned until after the snap.
yeah.
So you can just say it. All the widows are gone.
Every last one.
All of
And Red Guardian too. David Thanos, let's not forget the trailer. Tom Cruise running for 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Oh
that
yeah,
one
Mission Impossible, dude. Come on.
Yep, you're right.
Come on. Blake Tarpley. What up, Jeff? Jason chat. What up, Blake?
What's going on?
Jalen, Harley happened organically at first. Yes, she was really great. And then it was like, here's Harley and everything. It's like, gosh. I wonder how much longer they could have kept her real popularity instead of the forced artificial one. If they had just, let's keep working her and things, but not killing it. Like they did with Lobo, Venom, Punisher, Wolverine, all these characters before. It's like, gosh.
You guys in the chat and Jeff can help me out, because she was such a good character in the Batman animated series. Is it when she jumped over into comic books that they decided to overexpose her, or was it just we're good until we see there's other possibilities for new characters that we can make any heroes and go from there?
I think when you pair anybody with Joker, who's a psycho killer, you run the risk of, what are we gonna do? Now they tried to do a Harley stand-in with Punchline. She hasn't resonated nearly as much, and she's like, okay, whatever, thanks. But they kept Punchline from being a hero or a fan favorite. They kept her as a villain. But I just think Harley, they overexposed her to the point of like, enough already. And then let's separate her from Joker. Okay, whatever. But they decided let's make her a hero, and that was the problem. They kept Harley Quinn as a bad girl. I think that's where her sweet spot was, and they lost it when they decided she needs to be a hero.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm trying to think. I said that, but there was a point where Harley Quinn really started getting very popular in cosplay, and I think they probably noticed that as well. And like, oh, there's a market here. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah. Jamelin says Cyborg was a success, but he's a Titan. Put him in JLA felt forced. Yes. Yes.
Because what was it when Rebirth happened? They elevated him.
New 52.
No, okay, yeah. See, I was watching an interview yesterday.
Chris Pratt would be a good Booster Gold. So would Glenn Powell. I think Glenn Powell would be a better Booster Gold at this point.
Glenn Powell looks like a quarterback from the future who gets down on his luck. And then guys like, I got a scam. I'm ready. Let's go. Bring it in. It's immediately and anybody who's seen Hitman, like, come on. That's the audition tape for Booster Gold.
He's great. Blake, love the Cap Falcon duo. They were tight in their friendship, grew in Winter Soldier. That whole on your left thing, Falcon coming back in Endgame and Falcon being cool and teaching Steve, what was cool. Yeah. Exactly. Michael Solis, first Doctor Strange had a lot of comedy. I don't know if I would call it a lot of comedy. I think they had some comedic moments.
Yeah. Him flipping in, stealing the books.
First Doctor Strange was great. Snowglare says they never want to do straight up adaptations. It's sad. I think through the Infinity Saga, the way they were doing their adaptations was fine. It's what happened after Endgame. They got real shaky. David Thanos make it an animated Joe and Transformers movie.
That's a whole lot cheaper. I mean, that's the actual problem. You make I'm somebody who did not go see Transformers 1, and everybody's told me it was really good. I just missed out on it because I was like, I don't want to see an animated movie, couldn't get around to it. But in live action, I'll go see it. And I think that is the majority position. People do not, oh, I don't watch comic books. I don't watch cartoons unless it's from Disney. But I'll watch a live action, way over the top budget movie versus go see an animated movie.
I think the Transformers movie burned people out, but I think if you directly put in your trailer G.I. Joe is also in this, and you get to see, like, you know how, like, when we watched the Transformers the movie and they were like, will Optimus Prime die? What? If you do that, learn how G.I. Joe was formed in this Transformers movie. You're like, oh, okay. And if you just put it out front like that, I think you get a lot of people interested because, you know, there's that G.I. Joe Transformers. You have to do it right, though. And I think that's where they stumbled so often is, let's try to make the Transformers look more realistic. They're transforming robots. Stop. And we don't need all the gears. We'll just imagine it. Okay. We're kids still in our brains. We'll play along. You don't need to go, well, here's how this would look in real life. You don't need to worry about that. Let's see. Justin says, I don't know who's more annoying than MCU, Madison, She-Hulk, or Red Guardian. Not Madison. She's literally just there for comic relief. And she's so goofy and harmless. And she's not there in every episode. So she wouldn't be. I'd say Red Guardian because Red Guardian is not like that in the comic book at all. She-Hulk does have moments where she's talking to the camera, breaking the fourth wall. And if it were better told jokes, that would have been fine. But Red Guardian's a bozo, and he's just annoying. Agent Gen Z says She-Hulk for sure. Collective Disconnect says anyone else hoping for a clean reboot like DC is getting? No, because reboots don't work. It's just, yeah, it's like I'm paying off the credit card bill to load up onto another credit card bill. It's just, you have to fix your stories. That's what you need to do. You don't need to go wiping everything out. It's just tell better stories.
I mean, because Jeff, I just went to a quick Google search of Red Guardian, and almost every instance you see on the loading screen has a much more serious looking guy in shape, like actual looks like he'd be a threat against the Captain America. MCU's is treated like a joke, and that really does screw him up.
That's annoying. King Collector, that Mightiest Heroes cartoon is like a blueprint to success. Make that live action. Absolutely.
Always.
Michael Solis, I think the reason they don't want to use the comics is because the artists and writers have been suing and they might have to cut a check if they use more than a couple pieces from their work. They need to cut them checks. I don't know why. I mean, it's like, how many writers, artists, inkers, colors are there in these comics? You can pay them. Really, it's like 10 million out of, let's say, you use the Captain America budget. That's 10% of what you spent to make this movie. You can break off all those people, and they won't keep coming back for more if you give them 10 million, or split 10 million 5 ways or whatever.
Man, hey, if you look at a comic, most of your comics, it looks like, hey, written. I mean, like, I'm just using Walking Dead. It's written by Robert Kirkland and his part. Like, if you can have these guys just write a script, that's your writing team. You don't need 20 writers. You got, hey, just use these guys. Like when I said best adapted screenplay, that's what we do. Like, here's this thing. We adapt it for our movies and keep it moving. I mean, technically, because I'm trying. I mean, I think, let me see who just said that comment. Can you pull that one up, Jeff?
Which one?
The one was saying, like, they don't want to play the writers.
Oh.
Okay, Michael. So I still think it's still a whole lot cheaper to pay these guys than Hollywood. I mean, adding them as Hollywood writers should be a lot cheaper because they're used to getting whatever they get from Marvel and DC. You break them off with Marvel checks and DC and Warner Brothers checks. What else you guys need? I will quit my day job to work for you guys, and it will be fine.
Well, I think if you just pay them, if you adapt the story into a comic book, they don't get paid that much from comic books. If you break them off from any contribution you use from a comic book, even if it's just a character, cool. I mean, you're not breaking the bank paying these guys for their contributions. You're not. And I think that would incentivize more people to write more things draw more things, color and ink and letter more things for Marvel and DC than going on their own, forming their own companies with other comic book imprints. Just have it in house, and oh man, if this Marvel character pays off, I'm gonna get $1 million.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
just
because and yeah, I'm not trying to mess with Chief here, but Green Lantern had Jeff Johns as one of the executive producers. I'm sure he helped make that movie better than what they probably were going to do without him.
I don't know, but I know Jeff Johns got paid for it because he was an executive producer.
Exactly. So you could, again, how hard would it be to like a comic book? Hey, comic book red. Hey, here's what we want. I got an idea for you using a story I did. It might be a better way to go. Let's try it out.
Let's talk about She-Hulk. King Collector says, yeah, you got to totally revamp She-Hulk. Jamelin goes, so are we throwing She-Hulk the character away completely because of the series? I mean, there was Iron Man 2. There's Thor the Dark World. No. I think the real thing is in She-Hulk's standalone comic, she was very much different from how she appeared in Avengers and Fantastic Four. And I think as long as you keep her solo adventures, haha, I think you can work her just fine. But I think bringing comedic She-Hulk the last time we saw her into a film like Brave New World, that would be a jarring transition. I think if you throw her into an Avengers film where there are a bunch of characters and here's She-Hulk and she's not making with the jokes, maybe one time during the whole movie she's like, what? And we just move on. I think that could work. But you have to ease her into the more serious stuff, and you can't just hope people because it wasn't warm welcome to her show. And I think you have to kind of, I mean, Iron Man 2 and Thor the Dark World were the sequels, both after, well, not in the case of Iron Man 2, but at least Thor the Dark World was after we'd seen Thor twice. So it was like, cool, we like Thor. This movie might not be great. And I know that's one of Jace's least favorites pre Multiverse Saga.
Multiverse. The weird thing is, I wonder if do you bring her back for Doomsday War? I mean Doomsday.
You're so funny.
I don't know titles. I try not to know titles for things that are coming out years in advance, so it's never going to stick in my head. But do you keep that? I mean, if you all of these characters that have been introduced in the MCU should probably be used, but she's so budget intensive and not a well received character. I mean, it was not. I mean, yes, there were some review bombs, but a lot of it was like, yo, this just isn't a good story. I don't know if I'm Kevin Feige and all the Marvel higher ups say, hey, we still have the Hulk. We don't necessarily need this character. They can just be elsewhere, and we can keep it moving because we don't have to. I mean, we don't have to mention Hulkling because we haven't paid that off in how many years? We don't need to.
That was just lame. Blake says, I want more She-Hulk. I don't think anybody would be mad at recasting her and changing up her character a bit and put her in a great story. Jalen says, I really like Tatiana Maslany, but I wouldn't be mad at your idea. Well, I thought she was good. I thought she played Jennifer Walters great. I just think that the jokes, the comedy, the concept, because the writers didn't know how to write a legal drama, and they just were like, well, we can make it funny, haha, show, which they couldn't do either. So I think we're better. I mean, I would argue that we've seen other characters show up better because of different writers getting their hands on the different characters, and I think that would be the case with She-Hulk too.
Okay, and I'm thinking back on that. Do you remember anyone who suffered through the Inhumans knows all it took was Thor and the Multiverse of Madness 5 minutes to make Black Bolt a better character. So you can rehab a character just putting in better hands. And you can't be trying to flesh out a legal drama. That's not going to take. But if you like the character, maybe you can do a little something better.
Absolutely. Blake says, come to think of it, wasn't She-Hulk in the comics the whole time? She never transformed back in the John Byrne run. Maybe that could be cool. Just keep her She-Hulk. Jamelin says she changed from time to time, but she enjoyed being She-Hulk. Right, which is a big contrast. And I think that was another thing, because if you have smart Hulk introducing her and training her, you kind of lose the point and the uniqueness of She-Hulk because she's not a wild berserker gamma monster like her cousin. She's still, hey, I'm still Jen, where Hulk is like, oh, Hulk smash. It's such a contrast. But if you've already got smart Hulk, hey, I'm gonna go to IHOP after this, you lose a little what makes her special. And Michael Solis, I don't need to see an Optimus Prime mouth. Cover it up. Exactly. That was weird. No Prime lips here.
Did that.
Yeah. So my buddy and friend of the show, Mega J Retro, made sure that I knew about this. The Kickstarter for the He-Man fan film, Fall of Grayskull, Rise of the Horde, is back in action. And some of the reason why that's getting a little bit more attention, let's see here, is because of screenshots from this He-Man movie, the one that they're currently working on right now. And it's already got people concerned because people online are very rational. And we already know that. But yeah, people are very, very concerned. And much like I am when I'm seeing people going, hey, here's this. Where is it? Gosh. Okay, let's try this. Here's one screenshot. And I didn't think it was terrible, but you know, people online. So that's Prince Adam. He's getting arrested. Note the sword. Note the pink shirt with the white undershirt underneath, though. I mean,
that looks kind of like his outfit.
Looks like
okay. You brought the synopsis of this story last week.
Yep.
It tracks. He's a regular office guy and it was trapped on Earth. It's more so you shouldn't like the story versus the screenshot. It looks like Sword of Grayskull. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So we'll see what goes on with it. But Daniel Benedict has been working, and I think I showed you what he did before. That was really cool. I think that is a fun-looking He-Man. And I don't know why and I watched the video about the Kickstarter and saw Brian Cage. Like, wait, Brian Cage is in this? Brian Cage, the wrestler, plays He-Man. And so for this new one about the Evil Horde, here's a screenshot of the Evil Horde, Rise of the Horde. So you can see Katra, you see Hordak, and you know that's Shadow Weaver on the right. So it looks pretty cool. And let me see here. Exit out of use so we can see a little bit more of this thing. But oops. Let's see. There is Adam.
Okay.
There is Adora. Tila. I mean, so it looks pretty cool. Got the Evil Horde invading. So that looks cool. And I'm very curious to see how that plays out. So I was like, okay, I'm not hating on Goat Man like Chief, but I'm like, okay, that looks cool though. And they've got a big dude like Brian Cage to play He-Man. Dig it. So yeah. There we go. Yeah. So what do you think about that?
I mean, the idea of having the guy who's playing He-Man, he doesn't look like a Prince Adam. And that's the one actual problem. He doesn't look like he's going to transform. That was into He-Man. That was the problem with Dolph Lundgren. It was, all right, when he doesn't have the sword, he's Dolph Lundgren. He doesn't look like a small weakling. He's Dolph Lundgren. That's not a great way to go. So having someone like in that trailer, you had a guy who's, I'm a Prince Adam, and then I get a sword. And, then I'm He-Man. It's okay. That shock is a little bit better to me.
Laughing He-Man. Snow Bear. Wow. A pink shirt. Nailed it. Hey, listen. That first He-Man movie didn't nail anything. It nailed anything about He-Man. So even that, and if that's the gateway they're going to use to get him to Eternia, I'll play along. Like, we got to suffer through 20 minutes of, oh man, look at how boring his life is. And then he activates the power sword somehow and gets transported to Eternia. I'm okay.
Are you saying I get to go with you on your starship? Like,
I get to go with you on your starship?
Like, again, I'm hating on that line more so than I'm hating on that movie. Okay. First of all, let that be known. But trying to do 20 minutes of that in a 2-hour movie, 2.5-hour movie is going to be a stretch.
We'll
The
see.
idea and concept, I mean, the fact that they're shooting is like, guys, I'm hoping a lot of this goes on the cutting room floor. And it was an idea. We decided it wasn't the way to go.
We'll see. I'm hoping, because I really want them to just do Masters of the Universe right, because I feel like that franchise could go on for so long. At least 3 good movies if they do the first one right.
Because
yeah.
I mean, I didn't watch the Netflix He-Man until the last one came out. But then after I watched them, I was like, oh, let me revisit the rest of them. I'm like, okay, there's 3 solid seasons in here. I mean,
Which one are you talking about?
The
Kevin Smith one?
Yeah.
Huh. I've had issues with Evelyn getting a pat on the back. Sorry, hey, I mean, everybody makes mistakes. When she killed characters, I was really like, this is ridiculous. What are we doing?
Yeah, you can have issue with that, but
I had a major issue with that.
I know. We see major.
I mean, she killed off characters that were cool. I'm like, what are you doing?
You don't have to. We do a live action movie. We don't have to do that. I mean, just because it's cool and looks realistic to kill off characters, it's never actually a good idea.
It's never a good idea to kill off characters unless it's a really, really, like, it means something. And if it's just for shock value,
I'm gonna say this: if you had a 12-issue run on a comic book, you were writing for a whole year, and you introduce a character in episode 1 of your story, and in episode 11 or comic number 11, you kill off the character and but you made that character impactful, cool. But killing off somebody else's characters is always going to be lame. Is I didn't come up with a good story, so I thought it was a good idea to kill off the character.
I don't like that character. I'm gonna kill him. I think if you kill him off in issue 6, that means more. Now, I'm not gonna spoil it. In a book that I love, a character got killed, and I have really struggled with it because I don't necessarily like the idea of killing a character, but it really helped in terms of like, oh man, this could happen to anybody. My big beef was how that character got killed, which was stupid. And it was like, this is so dumb. I mean, this character sees what could happen. It is like, whatever, I don't even care. I love it. I'll talk to you about it. Huh?
Are you talking about Quicksilver?
No. Well, that was way long ago, but that was stupid. That was actually worse because that dude had powers. Blake says, ugh, are they really gonna have him on Earth? No thanks. Henry G says, hey fellas with that rock. Speaking of multiverse of madness, how did Wanda know to neutralize Black Bolt? Reed. Did Reed explain his powers when he introduced the members of the Illuminati? Yeah, he did. He was like, hey, here's what we all do. And she was like, word. Michael Solis, it's CW He-Man. Enough said. Jalen Price, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Are they trying to sneakily do the Matrix? Possibly. He is the one, though. Henry G, hope everyone is doing great, by the way.
Yep.
You see, my friend. Dang, that looks cool. I know you're talking about Pink Shirt Adam, not the fan film. Janeway says that fan film looks amazing. The first one's actually pretty good, despite the lower budget and amateurish effects. I feel like if you stay true to something and your special effects and some of the stuff isn't quite up to speed, people are more forgiving, especially fans of that property. Like, all right, well, yeah, that wasn't great, but you had the heart of it. And I feel like that's gonna be the case with this one too.
Yeah, because I'm a fan of the show Once Upon a Time. It used to be on ABC. Yes. In the budget, I mean, you can see, the special effects weren't great on some of the stuff, but it's like, hey, the story was good. I'm always, I mean, special effects have never killed me and knocked me out of a movie. I mean, as long as
whoa, let's keep it real though. I mean, some bad effects can't mess up a movie.
Okay, what was the movie we saw over your house?
Oh, Con Job.
Con Job has that one horrible scene of bad special effects. Look, that could have killed the movie, but it's like it was so useless. Like, yeah, get out of here. Let's get to the fun things that's funny. Yeah. Like, yeah, that is, it's the when they're actually in fantasy world, yeah, it's all the effects might not be great, but the story is really fun.
Where could one watch Once Upon a Time?
Disney Plus.
Okay, cool.
Actually
Not,
fun show. You can watch it on
not
Hulu, but
Hulu.
Disney Plus has it without commercials.
Great. That's all I needed to hear. Thank you. Justin says Once Upon a Time was great until mid-season 3. Is this true?
I liked it till I liked it until the recasting last season. I mean, I still watched it, but it wasn't as good as
was it? How many seasons was it?
I think 8.
Oh, speaking so randomly about shows that you watch and I still haven't. I was. What'd you say?
Supernatural.
Absolutely. Yes. I was about to reference Supernatural. So I had the TV on, I guess TNT, when I turned it on, and I was like, hey, look, it's the Armor. And it's like, hey, look, she's showed up here. I don't know who she was interacting with, but I was like,
oh, I know what season you're on.
What season was that?
I can't say the name of it, but I remember.
Was that the bad season? The one that you hate?
Oh no, that season's really good.
Okay. I didn't watch much beyond seeing. I was like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah, Emily Swallow. That was the first time I'm like, okay, she's got a cool character. Like,
yeah,
she's got some good work. Yeah, but if you ever see that season again, do not watch it because it spoils way something.
Oh no, no, it was just she was having a conversation with another guy, and I was like, yeah, don't do that.
Jensen Ackles?
No, it wasn't him. It was some other guy who I've never seen associated with Supernatural. So, Darth Vader killed children, men, women, a killer of men and women. William Money. It was forgiven. Were you doing that on purpose? Because I feel like maybe you were. Rick Cage, what's up? I think he was forgiven because he kills the ultimate evil in the entire galaxy. It kills him dead, never to return again. Jalen, slightly off topic. Jeff, are you a Robinson and Harry Starman fan? So I got the first trade. I liked it. This is well after the fact when the run was over, and I enjoyed that trade. I just haven't picked up more because I got it. My comic book shop had it in their $5 or 50% off trade bin. And once you get something for 50% off, it's kind of hard to pay like whatever the price is for the full amount. So every so often they'll have like, so if I got issue 1 or the first trade, they'll have like trade 6 or 4. I'm like, I need to get the other one. So I liked what I read. I've only heard good things, and the first one was like, yeah, this is solid. I love those JSA characters, and I know this is not Ted Knight and his son, but it was cool. I do need to pick it back up. She was good in Supernatural. Nice. Good to hear that. King Electra says, Once Upon a Time was a wonderful show. I still love that show. Nice.
Yeah.
Justin Heber says there were 7. They could have ended with 6, but no, they decided to retell. All right, let's move on. So here, G, I had to check out Supernatural. It's never must-see TV for me, but I would catch random episodes and was always good. Yeah. Snow Glare, Starman was amazing until Harris left. Yeah, that's always a thing. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Was there other stuff I wanted to talk about before getting into our topic? Because I don't know what happened to the time. Let me see real fast. What'd you say?
I was like, yeah.
Oh, something else happened. Well, Last of Us season 2 is coming back. I'm excited about that. That was another thing that I was looking forward to. April 13th. So that's gonna be really cool. Can't wait for that.
I'm still mad at that last episode. It's like, really?
Last of Us?
Yeah, I'm like, to continue a series, it makes sense, but it's like, man, come on, dude. But I'm definitely looking forward to that series.
Speaking of things to look forward to, let's see. Let's do this one thing first. Daredevil Born Again will have multiple seasons as Marvel moves away from movie-style limited series. Let's see. It's going to have 2 9-episode seasons now. Let's see. So during an interview with Entertainment Weekly, the showrunner Dario Scardapane, that sounds like a nice bad guy name, by the way. So they're gonna have 2 seasons, 9 episodes. That sounds really good. Definitely a great way to do it. And let me see, is there some other stuff that they mentioned? Yes, there was. We might be seeing the Defenders later on. They were in the same interview. they're like, yeah, it's only gonna be a matter of time before we see Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. So that's kind of exciting. What do you think
Oh,
about that?
cool.
Would you
I like
welcome
it.
seeing that?
I mean that kind of. Hey, if you enjoyed the Netflix show, we're bringing it. We're not saying we're running the whole thing back, but we are going to bring the characters. I mean, the characters, maybe not the actors that you like, but bringing those characters back, which I think is a good thing. I don't know. I like the idea of having 2 9-episode seasons versus 13. That
No, it's gonna be 18. That was what they originally announced.
Okay, so they just split it up in half.
Yeah, chopped down the middle.
Again, hey, I'm good with that. Nine episodes,
9.
9 times.
He's a really cool dude. So sorry why we went into our Ferris Bueller routine on that.
Yeah.
Michael Solis, only Anakin fails at everything. He fails to save his mom. No, it was Obi-Wan's fault. He fails to become a master. He did hook up with Padme, though.
That was Mace's fault.
Fails to kill the Emperor. That is also Mace's fault. I mean, the Jedi are so responsible for everything that goes wrong with Anakin. I've got Anakin's back. The dude is carrying the Jedi through the Clone Wars. And they're like, nah, dude, you still can't have a seat at our cool kids table. Bump y'all. So yeah,
me and Obi-Wan are gonna run this thing without you. Oh wait, you're against me.
Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? 9. You got it. Rick Cage. I love Supernatural. The writers do their research when it comes to the lore. Say no more.
I mean, let me say this. The good thing about Supernatural is if they mention something in season 1, it's coming back. I mean, and the weird thing is the creator leaves in season 5, but he stays on. I think they say as a special consultant.
That's all you need.
It's like, thank you. Like, it so helps the rest. It's like, no, we talked about this in season 5. We can do it. Hey, is this retcon? Don't need to retcon. Here, I got this episode. Use that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Jalen. I definitely have to try to avoid all kinds of spoilers because people will ruin things. Thankfully, you're not among those. And I'm saying that not at all sarcastically. I know sometimes that kind of stuff sounds weird, but I was straight up on that. So here it is, Blake. Starman Compendium 1, 2, pretty decent prices. Starman Omnibus 45. Oh, geez, that's not that much more than that. Starman Ashbury, it's just a whole slippery slope. Anyway, but I've only heard good things about Starman, so I do want to finish reading it. So was there anything else? No. Are you excited about Daredevil Born Again? They put out a new trailer. It comes out in a couple weeks from now.
There's not much left in this month. We can go wrap it up. I'm good. Yeah, I'm sold on. Let's get to the March. Start March Madness.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
We do have March Madness to look forward to.
Yeah. I'm good.
Absolutely.
I know. I mean, it mentions. Did you see this Fantastic Four trailer in the theater?
I don't think I did actually.
Oh, okay. Because I mean, they showed the IMAX version. I mean, they showed it in IMAX, and I'm like, yeah, this probably looks really good in IMAX.
Oh, that definitely seems like it should be an IMAX movie.
Yeah. So.
Let's see. Henry G, who has seen Captain America? I haven't been able to yet, so no spoilers. What's the consensus? People are hating. This movie's really fun, and I really don't understand what people wanted from this movie. I think sometimes they're just hating hate on it. But it was good, and it's probably the first Phase 4 film that was not connected to something else that I was already attached to. No Way Home, Spider-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and Multiverse of Madness, that I felt really did a good job of feeling like a Marvel movie where it was continuing to pull on threads that they'd already established. I really like Shang-Chi, but it's such a standalone movie, like Jalen was saying. It was really fun. I did not like Awkwafina and Trevor showing up as much as they were. I really wanted that to be more Shang-Chi, but when it was just focused on him, it was great. And Abomination fight was kind of weird, but whatever. And but I thought Brave New World was good, and I think you will enjoy it. So I got like 5 minutes into Cobra Kai, and my wife got sleepy. I'm like, so I have not watched the rest of it, but I fully plan to. Got a pump her full of caffeine so she'll stay awake, and I had the heater next to her because I love that show. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I have not watched it, and I think everything like my Facebook is trying to spoil everything. I'm like, nope, nope. Like I see who this person is. Nope, get out.
Delete. All right, let's talk about it. So
Talk
last night, let's talk about them hits. I was on Loading Snacks talking about just a whole bunch of stuff and about my ridiculous backlog for TV, action figures. It's a whole problem, but I'm learning to embrace it. And anyway, and they asked, were like, "Hey, we'll put you on the spot. What are your favorite movies?" And I found myself going to my constant all-time films, and I was like, "This is weird," because they're mostly older films. So, like right when I was, like still a wee lad. Empire Strikes Back, Godfather, and of course I said Avengers: Infinity War. That was my newest film. And it made me feel, and I went to Coming to America. I did say The Hangover, but in Superman 2. So I was really leaning heavy into movies that I've watched and really enjoyed and probably, no exaggeration, seen 50 times. In the case of Empire Strikes Back, that is absolutely true.
It's definitely plus 50 viewings there.
Yeah, that's probably closer to 100, 50. So I was like, yeah, there is a really great movies that have come out since then. And so I was like, all right, let's go over some of the best movies that have come out recently that if people were to ask you 20 years from now, what are some of your favorite films, would be on that list when you've forgotten the stuff you watched when you were a kid. So let's see here. So let me pull up my list of movies that I reviewed. That makes it easy for me. And
okay.
Well, I took the time to break them down by year. I was so like, let's do it this way. That's helpful. And so yeah, let's do that. And let me go all the way
from 2010 to present.
2010.
Okay.
Yes.
Last 15 years.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow. Okay, let's go to another page. This is I'm on page 5.
I'm like, you've reviewed 100 movies for the last probably 15 years. So
it's not been that many. But yeah. All right. So let's start. And I didn't put a cap on it. So whatever you want to do, how many you want to put out there, it's all good. Let's start though with 2 at a time. We'll just keep going back and forth from there. All right. So what are 2 of yours on your list?
Okay. All right. 2 of mine.
Now, let me make sure to preface it. Not just movies you like, movies that as you like, hey man, these were really great movies and I really, really, really loved them. So go for it.
Oh yeah, like that was my criteria. I was like, it has to be actually like, hey, in 5 years, I am not watching a movie. And even 10 years, like, hey, it's actually going to make me either laugh or, I remember this moment. I'm totally in it. So to start it off, because, I'm not going to do what we always do. I'm going to start with La La Land. That is one of my favorite musicals. I think that will really always remind me is like, hey, this is a really good musical. What you can do in musicals, has really good characters, and I really like the story they had. So that is one I can say will be around for 20 years in my collection. Next one I'm gonna go with is Gone Girl. I'm sorry, Rosamund Pike in that daggone movie. Like, she was so good. I mean, it is criminal she did not get an Oscar for Best Actress. I mean, she was so freaking good. As I said, I'm starting out hot.
He wanted you to go with Moonlight.
No, I didn't like that one. But Rosamund Pike and that story was so it was starting off one way, and that twist, when it twists, oh my gosh, that thing was so good. So That's my first two.
Snuggler says, I don't think I'll revisit La La Land. Good movie, but I didn't care for the ending. Wow.
That's the part I love of that movie.
I'm trying to remember the ending now. Yeah.
It's okay.
Don't spoil. We'll talk after.
Yeah.
All right. Because in case somebody wants to see it, hadn't. All right. So for me, I'll just go with my two for sure in 2010. Maybe this would be more fun for me just going through what I actually reviewed on my list. All right. So the two from 2010, and there's some pretty good competition. I've got The Expendables on here, Grown Ups, Hot Tub Time Machine. The first one is so funny. Kicktail, Night and Day, which I like more every time I watch it. And let's see, and I think that's it. So my two for sure from 2010, and this might just be how I break my list down. Oh wait, oh boy, I'm gonna do three. I'm cheating. Toy Story 3, epic, has to be on there. Like that is on my list of my all-time favorite films. So that for sure. Where else did you go? Inception, another one that's on my list for sure. I love the creativity of that movie. It's so much to it. The cast is awesome. And it's just like, man, Christopher Nolan really did it with this film. And it's loud, so you can play it. It's just like, it is so cool. The different levels, the concept. I love that movie. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is not he's not like a lot of actors when they play against Tom Cruise. He's like, I don't care, Leo. I'm gonna be right here in this movie with you, player. And he does, and he's like holding it up. Tom Hardy, Cillian Murphy. I mean, it's just great. My other one that I have to put on there because this is among my 5. If I'm in a really terrible mood, must watch. She's Out of My League.
Oh,
just that movie.
Yes. Yeah,
you need a little help in there.
I was looking for a comedy, and that was one I should have put on there.
Yes, you failed for not putting that on there.
Oh my gosh, right. I actually did. Because I mean, it's funny. Like you look at some of these things are reviewed, and you're like, wait, you had Skywalker, Rise of Skywalker in a movie you had to see? Like, no, come on. But I just watched Inception. Probably this, I think it was like maybe last weekend. I'm just like, this movie is so freaking good. I mean, you're just looking at cast like bang, 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 bang. There's no glaring. This person is dragging the movie down. It's all of them are rock solid.
Yeah, Inception is so mind bending. It really, because it's like you're watching like, what a cool concept. The different layers, the whole point. It's like, oh man, it's so good.
Inception is one of those movies when you get. I appreciate somebody had to write that movie, and when you see it. It has to be like, I have to be in this movie. I will audition. I'm Leonardo DiCaprio. Can I audition to make sure I'm in this movie? Like, that is so good. Such a good movie.
You asked the question, Jalen, and I'm pretty sure I haven't gotten to it yet. But it's on there. Let's see. Harry G, She's Out of My League is a good call, Jeff. Dude, that joy is funny. I watch it at least once every couple months, but I'm a rom. Me too. I love a good rom-com, and that thing. Gosh, I'm trying to think if there was anybody in the cast. I was like, it was Stainer, because I thought it was funny in Cloverfield. And man, that movie was so good. King Collector, yes, Inception, one of my favorites. But did he get trapped in? I love the fact that it's like totally up to you. That's the other part where it's like, depending on who you ask, yes, he did. Or no, he didn't. Of course, it stopped. Poop, the top stopped. Let's see.
Cutaway, just before you don't know, you're like, it is your interpretation. Like, how are you an optimist or you're a pessimist?
I can't help it. I'm an optimist. All right. What's next for you?
Next on my list, I'm gonna stick with another Christopher Nolan movie, Interstellar. I just watched that thing for the second time, and I'm like, man, this again. Christopher Nolan knows how to make movies.
That was your second time total watching it?
Yeah, I didn't watch it when it first came out. I think when we talked about it in the previous Lyle's movie file, I was like, all right, let me check this out. And then I was like, yeah, I'm glad I bought this. like, thank you. Like, good job, guys. And my next one I'm going to go with is actually a chief recommendation. It Follows. Jeff, did you watch this movie?
I did watch it. Ha!
Okay. Okay. But that was such a different kind of horror movie. And when I mean, just all the, I mean, like, just how it actually came together. It was, oh, you think you're good. I'm trying to tell you you're not. And it's just that creepy thing. It's not a Jason Michael Myers kind of horror movie. It's always just, you don't know what's going to happen. And then when the world starts warping around, it gets, it's so good to me. So that's my next two.
I always felt like that movie really, really needs a decent person, because if you did not, if you like an awful person, they're good and they never have any problems because yeah, my body count's massive. I'm more dangerous than a serial killer.
Yeah, I mean, but I think I liked how here's a point where a guy's like, no, I got you because I love you. I'll deal with this. Lame. And then you just, it's like, are you sure about that one, Brian? Like, because man, it will follow. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. It's been cool. It's been real. No way. All right. I'm gonna keep it going. 2011. There's too many on 2011. So up for contention here. Some of the runners up. Rise of the Planet of the Apes, solid stuff. The Muppets, which it pains me not to include that because I really like that one. The Ides of March, Ryan Gosling, George Clooney, really good. I'm not going to put Captain America: The First Avenger on there because they're better Captain America films, which I will of course put on this list. So for my 2 for 2011, Fast 5. The series was really good. Like, I really was digging it for what it was. But then Fast 5 just took it to a whole other stratosphere. It's like, oh man, this is amazing. Like, The Rock really added so much to that. And it just went from like this cool thing to this spectacle franchise that became a appointment movie. Mark the calendar. This next installment's coming from that point on. And I love them. So Fast 5 was where I got started. So there's that one. Okay. I said 2. I'm lying again. I've got to add this one. Got to put The Gray on there. The Gray is such a great movie. And it's like, it is hopeless. But they just keep doing the thing. And it's like, it's just them versus wolves in the snow. And it's so good. It is so not a, man, I'm in a bad mood. It's like putting on Fiona Apple when you're depressed. But The Gray, you gotta be in a great mood to watch it because it'll just be like, oh, this is awful, it's terrible. But I love that movie.
That was Liam Neeson.
Yeah, and Crossbones. So it's Ra's al Ghul, Crossbones, and I'm trying to think what other comic book connections in there. And then my other one, my one for sure, if I had to, I don't know if I'd say it. Nah, I'll say that for my other one. But the third one, The Raid Redemption, because oh my gosh, I don't know if I'd expected it. See an action movie like that. I was like, oh, okay. So David Thanos, absolutely. That has to be on there.
Yes.
Okay, Jeff. Your little brother's all right. You can play with this again.
Yay!
Okay. I'll try to give chronological. Fast 5 was good. Fast 5 was epic.
I mean, like Raid. Oh gosh, Raid. I mean, the Raid was so good, and then you saw Raid Redemption. You're like, oh, this is what happens when you give a good director more money. It'd be so like, I can handle this. Give me this. Jeff, you here?
You're back. I'm back. Okay.
The Raid Redemption was so much. Hey, you get a good director. We can do this up a whole big time, and I think that was just so good.
Why did I have it as 2011, Jalen? That's crazy. I was just way off with that Fast 5 thing.
I think that was 11. I think that was because that's why I have 6. Spoiler: I have 6 in mind because
what?
Yeah, that's like evil bad guys versus the crew. Come on, easy.
Hey, this was you, Brian. You got pretty hair. Fast 5 is 2011. I don't know. Yeah. All right. Okay. And Justin, How dare you drop the first Avengers classic? It's so close. It's just simply, I love all the Cap films. They're by far the best trilogy in the MCU. It's just the other two have to demand space, and I feel like I'm really biased putting all three Caps in there. Have I seen Tenet? Yes, but I remember them saying that might be in the Inception universe. It's really good. I definitely recommend it, King Collector. I think that is on Max.
Yeah, I mean, I have not seen it put on there, but I definitely, you should watch it. I mean, you should watch Tenet.
Google led you astray. And if you said X led you astray, I would believe it. I went on to X today. I was like, why? Why?
A lot, garbage. Some of the sites that I'll go, they don't put, I'm saying it's probably, I did IMDb, and they do not put a lot of the action movies, because I'm going to say Extraction 2, based on that 20, and I'm spoiled. Extraction 2, based on that 20-minute one camera scene, is freaking awesome. Appointment viewing if you love good action movies. Like, that has to be on there. And
you said spoiler. I guess we'll hear it from you later. All right. Did you just go with your next two? Probably not.
Yeah.
What were yours?
I did. No, I didn't actually.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was co-signer of yours. Okay.
Appreciate it.
So my next one is one we hate the sequel so much because of how good this freaking movie is. Wonder Woman. That is the 100% standout of the DCU universe. That movie is on. I'm watching it. TNT gets my views every time when that movie's on. I mean, because coming out of that foxhole, starts bashing them. Man, come on. Not getting rid of Nazis? Come on, sign me the freak up. I mean, no, that wasn't the Nazi. That was World War II. But
business is a booming.
Oh, man, that thing is just always awesome. The next one I'm going to go with is It. I love the Tim Curry version of that movie that I saw way too young and should not have been watching because it freaked me the hell out. I didn't dislike Cons. I just hated Pennywise. Like, that thing scared the hell out. But It 1, the reimagining of that made Pennywise so much scarier to me. And the cast was so good, but just the way they had, it wasn't just Pennywise, it was all these other horrible things. And if you actually let your kid watch that movie, you're a horrible parent. That movie, you're like, do you want your kid sleeping with you for the next 16 years? Because it's going to happen. That thing is hey, you see that picture up there? Yeah. Guess what's going to happen to you? Not a chance. So that's my next two.
Applause on Wonder Woman, Jace, says Henry G. And Snuggler says, yes, Wonder Woman. Yep. All right, let's see here. Oh, that was about Fast Five. So mine, 2012 was a busy year. Busy year. Hold on here. I don't know why let me see here. Let me do this real fast for my guy. Pull up to the camera. So if you can see,
Fast Five, 2011.
Yeah. Google's trying to lead you astray. I'm not sure why, because they were cranking them out pretty fast at that point. All right, so 2012 was a busy year, and I'm not going to bother trying to sort them out. I would put these in my greatest hits. Looper. Looper is another mind-bending film starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I love that movie so much. And I was like, Rian Johnson's amazing. He can never do a bad movie. And it was so good. I mean, we got Emily Blunt, we got Bruce Willis, a motivated Bruce Willis. Man, and that had so many cool twists. It was like, oh my gosh. The first time I watched it, mind completely blown. No fireworks, just an amazing movie. I really love that. That is one of mine, for sure. One of the best in these last 15 years. Let's see. Les Mis, because we were just my sister-in-law was just over and we were watching Wicked, and I like Wicked, but it doesn't have as many songs like Les Mis and some of the other musicals that I really love. Les Mis is really well done, and the songs, like Anne Hathaway is like, well, I guess I'll be taking this Best Supporting Actress trophy right now. I'm good, thanks. So it
was funny, like when Mom said she wasn't in it. I'm like, Did you not watch the movie? Like, I knew we were wrapping Christmas gifts, but come on, like, run that back.
Right. Honorable mention John Carter because I just feel like it didn't get enough love. And one for sure, Hunger Games. It started a terrible, awful trend, but the Hunger Games, that whole franchise is really good. The first one was like, oh, I get the hype with this franchise or the books. This was good. I want to see more. Next up, Dread. Because I mean, it would have taken a really great film for me to be like, you are just a Raid ripoff. But it was that good. And especially seeing it in 3D. So Dread, absolutely.
Did you see Dread first or Raid first?
Raid.
Oh, okay. But yeah.
And Dark Knight Rises, because it has to be on there. Wow, what a lovely singing voice. And of course, you know the last one. This is the game changer of so much stuff, the whole genre, Avengers. So yeah, there's that. Boy, I'm going long with so many of these great movies. But what do you got next?
Okay. Next, I'm gonna go with. All right. Okay. We did falls. I'm gonna go. Let's go with my two horrors on this one. I'm gonna go with Don't Breathe. That was so unexpected. I mean, it's like, oh, these little jerks say so good, and then you're like, wait a minute, this dude is not what he appears on every level. And
which one? I'm sorry.
Don't Breathe.
Oh gosh, yes.
Like, I mean, you're just thinking, oh, these little jerks, they're trying to get this blind man. You take him out. Oh,
yeah.
Like, I'm not really comfortable with this.
I've become uncomfortable. What's happening? I was rooting for you. You were the chosen one.
Exactly. And then my next of the horror is going to be Quiet Place 1. Quiet Place 1 was so good to me. And it did. I mean, it was the alien invasion.
Was it good to you? Did you like it?
What?
He said Quiet Place was so good to you. And I was like, was it good to you? Did you like it?
Oh,
I like it. Is it good to you?
All right, Sorry. Now. There you go.
There you go.
But Quiet Place, that was again another alien invasion movie. Unlike Cloverfield, you got to see the aliens, and then when you saw the freaking aliens, it was, oh, okay, I understand why you are like, and then and trying to have a baby in that world also made it even scarier. It's okay, we got to put the baby in the bag. It got some oxygen tank, mini oxygen tank.
Please change how you phrase that. You don't put babies in the bag. We hear loud profiles. Don't advocate putting babies
in the box to make sure it was well protected and secure while you walked quietly to your next destination.
There you go. Whew, legal. All right. Legal said we're good now.
Yeah.
All right. Good call. Anything else?
Oh, let me try. Next one, I don't have a horror, but I'm gonna go with one of my favorite Star Wars movies, Rogue One. It was when it was announced, it was, oh, it's a spinoff. Why do we need this? I don't know any of the characters. And then by the end of it, you cared about every one of these characters. And it was, I mean, I don't think we saw Darth Vader in Revenge of the Sith. We saw him in the original trilogy, yeah. But when you saw that red lightsaber light up at the end of that movie, and that was God, oh crap, we're dead. And then it's like, yes, you are.
Oh, you so are.
It's like him just using, it's like, I'm using Force, I'm using lightsabers, get lost, toss you, door, doesn't matter. And
it was bad scene for him.
Yeah, so that was like, okay, we've taken Darth Vader to another level. Yeah, I'm all for it.
I need to take Ryan Daly on a comedy circuit with me because the deadpan is just impressive. Ryan Johnson made one of the 10 best Star Wars movies. Tip my cat to you, sir.
The gentleman.
The gentleman. Oh, man. You put baby in the corner. Kelly Cox, A Quiet Place is a home run for me.
Yeah.
Rogue One is amazing. It is. Vader was Vader back then. Way back then. Oh, let me see. 2013. Lots of stuff. But was there anything that I really want to put? Best Man Holiday, because I watch it every Christmas, every year, non-fail. Let's see, was there anything else? Oh, of course, Fast and Furious 6, the longest runway ever, and I love that movie. But was there anything else that I want that absolutely has to be on here? I did a lot of reviews that year. Let me see. I kind of feel like no. I would honorable mention Now You See Me and Oblivion. Really enjoy them. But I think I'm pretty solid with those. And the Wolverine also gets an honorable mention. But I'm good there. Okay, so what's next for you?
My next one is going to be Skyfall. Mentioned last week, but that is the best James Bond for my buck. I mean, that was the best picture, easy James Bond. Grayson opening theme song. James had a great story. M was cool in it, so that's the easy one. Next one is going to be Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
What?
I know.
Did you catch up to my list? Is that what you were doing? I'm in 2014 now.
Hey, I gotta get a jump in here before you call hour. But again, Captain America and Winter Soldier is I think you could plop anybody who likes spy movies, and they were like, "Oh yeah, this is really cool." Do they have any more movies like that? We don't have anything like that, but I got some other great things for you. Let me bring it in. So, no, that's my next two.
And also you did mention Snowpiercer. I think, Blake, that would be on the list. I didn't review it, so that's why I didn't have it on my absolute. But yeah, Snowpiercer is awesome. Oh, that's cool, BP.
Oh, that's cool.
Be careful not to choke on your admirations, director critic.
Again, and then how many good characters? I mean, that was the thing. Rogue One introduced so many new characters. And again, Krennic you cared about, Jyn, Saw Gerrera. I mean, like, these guys have gotten so much life outside of that one movie because of how good it was.
Absolutely. So for 2014, The Raid 2, for sure. Mm-hmm. I have not mentioned every Hunger Games that came out since the original, but just their block. And this little indie film, John Wick. Yeah. You can just throw all those films in there too.
Oh, yeah.
And Guardians of the Galaxy and Captain America the Winter Soldier. And that's all I need to say on that. So, I mean, come on. Cap's one of the best films in the MCU. So, yeah. What's next for you?
Okay. My next is Inside Out. I did not think I was going to like that movie. I was like, it's another Pixar movie. By the end of this, like, oh. I'm like, my gosh, Robo, this is daggone Pixar. You've done it again. It's funny. I still have not watched, Inside Out too, because of your review on loudmoviethought.com. I'm like, I'm not ready for that emotionally.
Oh, I'm about to say, no, you better watch that movie.
No, I mean, because I'm like, no, if you can bring it as well as that first one and do better, or just as well, yeah, I'm sold on that. Next one is Horrible Bosses. That one, I mean, Jennifer Aniston played against type so well on that. It was like, all right, you got me, because I mean, you're not rom-com Jennifer Aniston. You are just wicked, and it's awesome. Kevin Spacey
all the way.
Oh yeah, Kevin Spacey, he was a jerk, and what I mean, oh gosh, what's my man? Penguin.
Colin Farrell.
Once again, Colin Farrell was a freaking chameleon. That dude can do everything. Yeah, that dude, if he's in a role, just know you're probably going to enjoy the movie. And him and Horrible Bosses, like, you are such a jerk. Perfect job.
Onward and Soul was good.
Okay.
My kid loves the Inside Out movies. Everything the first one. I was trying not to be too ridiculous, but absolutely. I mean, I love that. That was one where it's like, I can't believe I'm watching this movie with just Sandra Bullock, and I'm captivated. It's like, George, come back. Yeah, I loved it. And that's one of my 3D movies where it's like, this is so fun. 2014 was loaded. So much stuff there. Yeah, and Birdman too.
Yeah.
Definitely Drive. Drive was good, Jace. Watch it again.
I literally before when I was doing this list, I literally looked like, okay, where can I actually go watch Drive? And nobody has this movie except you have to rent it. So I'm like, it seems like you guys tell me this movie's great, but nobody else agrees with y'all. So,
well, that just means they're wrong. Next up for me, Mad Max Fury Road. Shocker. Let's see. No, not Spectre. Fury 7. Huh. And let's see. Creed. Creed, I really enjoyed because I didn't think there was any life left after that really good Rocky Balboa. And Creed showed that they have so much more life in the franchise and really, really dug it. I'm gonna go next just to mix things up a bit. Now I'm gonna go with Rogue One, a Star Wars story, because that was awesome. Let's see what else would I absolutely have to watch and have watched several times over and over again since then. Let's see. Going through the list really fast because again, more stuff. Controversial time now. Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice Ultimate Edition.
Can you count that because it was an Ultimate Edition?
I absolutely will. Okay. And of course, my 2016 top favorite is Captain America: Civil War. Because I mean, come on, what am I even doing if I don't have that on there? So, what's next for you?
Oh, okay. Next for me, I'm gonna go with The Arrival with Amy McAdams, or is that Rachel Adams? Amy Adams, yeah. And Jeremy Renner. Like, I really like that movie.
Lois and Hawkeye. Yes.
Yep. That was good. And my next one is going to be Parasite. That's why I was weird. Is it's a few times you're like, oh man, it's Oscar. Remember, I'm gonna try. And then I watched that movie. I'm like, okay, this movie's really good.
This one's a good one.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you guys do know occasionally how to actually spot a good movie when it smacks you in the face. Like just how, I mean, I can't even say how twisted it was, but that was really a good movie. If you guys can watch it, check it out.
I'm going to just continue holding off on my comic book cartoon movies because I do have some that I regret not mentioning. So Wonder Woman, excuse me. Next up, let's see, where else do I want to go with this? That I absolutely, because there are a lot of good movies. I'm just trying to stick to the epic ones that were just amazing and so great. John Wick Chapter 2, yes, of course. It, of course. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 was mentioned. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. Happy Death Day because it gave me my birthday ringtone. And Get Out. Yeah, for sure. I think that's all. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with for that one. Let's see. Let's keep it going. Next up, great. I started to bold the stuff that I really like. That makes it easy. Let's see. Operation Red Sea. That is like a epic action movie.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's epic. I love that one. Creed 2, Crazy Rich Asians, Black Panther, shocker, and Avengers Infinity War. Yeah. All right, so that's 2018. What you got now? Rolling through faster.
Next, I got Extraction 2. Like I said, that if you want me good at, I'm always a sucker for really good action scenes and good action movies. Yeah. So I grew up in the 80s. I'm a sucker for them. So Extraction, and then my next one is Enter the Spider-Verse. I mean, that was good musical. I love the tone of that movie, and once again, prove you can actually make an animated movie really good.
Yes, good choice. Let's see, where am I going? You already mentioned Parasite, so I won't do that again. But it would have if you hadn't. John Wick Chapter 3. It Chapter 2 again. Let's see. Happy Death Day to you. Great stuff. Avengers Endgame, shocker. Yeah. And let's see, not 1984 Wonder Woman for sure. Not. That was my 2019 one. So of course I said Endgame, yeah. And let's see. If I didn't, of course, Endgame.
Yeah, yeah, we can. I mean, for the most part, the Avengers movies are going to be there.
Yeah. Then 2020 Miss Juneteenth, which was really good. I didn't get enough love, but that is really good. Nicole Bahari, awesome in that movie. Definitely recommend it. So good. And yeah, it didn't get enough love, even though she was getting nominated for stuff from it, but it was really good. Extraction for me, both parts, so I don't need to go back through for the second one. Oh, yeah. 2020 was kind of whack for movies, but yeah. So Extraction and Miss Juneteenth for that. Now I'm on my final page. Yes. Let me see what the chat is saying because I've been scrolling through my page here. Oh, did we mention Ex Machina? We should have.
Yeah, that was one I was trying to keep the list kind of short. So, but yeah, that's
Whatever.
really good.
Snow Glare, definitely see Parasite. It's well worth it. David Thanos, 2015. Jurassic World and Sicario. Good call. Rogue Nation, Age of Ultron, Fury 7. Yes. Yes. Happy Death Day is on my list. So is Freaky. You better
so I ain't got to pick up my phone. Hey.
It's my birthday. Y'all should just leave me alone. Justin Huber, Ready Player One. Spider-Verse is good. Yes. Jace. Yes, Spider-Verse was awesome, says Kelly Cox. Knives Out. Yes. I say you're correct, yeah. David Thanos, 2017, Baby Driver. Yes.
No.
A lot of love for Kevin Spacey, who will get mentioned later on in this episode, too. Spoiler. Not in this category, though. All right.
A little different category for him.
Yeah. Then let's see. I'm gonna go with Zack Snyder's Justice League for sure. Honorable mention to Wrath of Man. Jason Statham does his thing in that one, and yeah, I just wanted to mention that. Also, honorable mentions to the Tomorrow War, fun Amazon movie, and we'll see those. Let's see where else, because I feel like I'm getting close to definitely not No Time to Die. Terrible, awful, and I mean we got a good bad guy, but what happened? Judas and the Black Messiah, good stuff. And let's see, F9, Fast Saga, as I told you. I'm gonna keep mentioning those every time I can. And not gonna break my animation rule, but there's a Batman animation movie that for sure would be on there. And darn it, what is my movie? Raging Fire for sure. Jace, what you got next?
Oh, funny thing, I'm actually I'm definitely go with Tomorrow. I like The Hunt. That was a good one. Mm-hmm. Like I thought that was a cool idea. No, it wasn't Hunt. What was the one? Was it Truth or Dare?
There's that too.
Yeah, I think it was actually Truth or Dare. I think that was my next. That's my next two.
Nice. Let's see here. This starts to get really shaky in terms of like epic great movies. I did like Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. That was really fun.
That was funny.
Bullet Train. And have you seen Bodies yet?
No.
You should watch that. And
where is that? Because I thought it was probably on. No, I think it's on Amazon. And I was like, maybe.
It's fun. You should check it out.
Okay, I'll check it out.
And let's see. Spider-Man Across and Beyond the Multiverse and Across the Spider-Verse for sure. I'm on the home stretch now, almost done. Then Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. I feel like I missed the good one with my guy Henry Cavill. Please insert that in there because I did forget it. Mm-hmm. I didn't like Rogue Nation as much. I think that's my least favorite of the bunch, but yeah. And let's see. John Wick Chapter 4. Huh?
You're already, John Wick's already bunched in there. Good.
Yeah. Extraction 2, Fast X, because you know it. And Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves. This is a whole lot of movies. Chad gets the axe, but I don't care. These are movies I would watch over and over again. Cool. Let's see. Which brings me to you.
I'm tapped out.
No, not which brings me to you. Anyone but you. Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney, because you got
that was a good rom-com.
And Hitman, because yes. And I think that's all I'm going to say. Oh, and Godzilla X Kong, the new Empire. Watch that. That is just.
Is that when you mentioned
that I just watched? It was good.
Yeah, I watched that too. I was like, okay, this is good.
I love when he gets to the point where he just like picks up old boy and starts using him as I was like, that was the point where I was like, yeah, I'm with you.
It's
I'm
like,
with
yeah,
you.
he's like, you ain't gonna jump out here. Oh, you acting crazy. Oh, okay. Let me show you crazy, bro.
Yeah, I got you. The Hunt and Invisible Man were both 2020. Those should be on there. You're right. Those are both good. Rick Cage, Fantastic Four. Oh, come on. And Green Lantern and Wonder Woman, Batman vs Superman, Black Panther, Captain America, Civil War, Winter Soldier, and Homecoming. Nice.
Okay.
Jalen Parks, Tomorrow War was good. I want another one. Absolutely. Detective Pikachu, says Justin. Snake Eyes, Avatar, Way of Water.
Yeah,
World Dominion for Jurassic. Godzilla -1, which I still need to see.
Gosh, that should have definitely brought mine.
I'm going to give an honorable mention to the Scream franchise. The new one is on Netflix that I need to watch, but I did like what is that, 5 or is it 6? I think it's 5.
Yeah. 5. Yeah, they both just got released.
Yes, I need to watch both of them. All right, so we're overtime now. Who are your nominees for Dummy of the Week? Since she's not here, you're going to go first.
My Dummy of the Week, I don't know why I got down this rabbit hole. I must have been watching too many legal stuff. But the Blake Lively and Justin Baudin saga is just going off the rails. It's just trying to see who can one up and I can release this footage. It's like, if you're a jury, I mean, I'm not in litigation. I can get my personal win. I don't care which side. This thing shows this one. This shows it's like, so who won? Me, because you keep paying me to actually represent you. I'm gonna get so much just billable hours because you guys haven't just like, it's not enough. The mudslinging you're getting out of this case is not a win for either one.
I feel like it's less of a win for Blake because no one's going to remember this guy 3 years from now. But I think he's dragging her down with her. And I just kind of feel like for her, just walk away from this because you don't need the drama from this dude. No one's going to work with him again. But you don't want this carrying over with anything else with you. And I think that's where it is at this point. Like, you don't need to keep climbing into the mud with this guy.
Because I know there was a lawsuit a couple years ago where, Taylor Swift was getting a guy for sexual harassment. She got a dog. She won a dog. And she wanted, this guy, hey, easy. We saw the picture. Yeah, got it. But this one is just when they're releasing stuff, it's, this is so subjective. It's like, well, the mud is getting you because, hey, it was his movie. And then you won it. And it's like, you're not winning. Again, I don't know if anybody's not going to work with him anymore, but it definitely is hurting her image. Even as a win is, sometimes when you win, you really lose. And sometimes when you lose, you really win. And then sometimes when you tie, you really win or lose.
My dummy of the week is Kevin Spacey. This guy is like, I don't care. His character in Horrible Bosses, I kind of feel like Kevin Spacey. So Guy Pearce is like, yeah, when I was working with him on LA Confidential, he made me feel uncomfortable too. And then Kevin Spacey didn't do the normal thing of, I'm so sorry if you interpreted something incorrect. Let's talk about it. He was like, hey, it was like the craziest thing. He told
what part when his retort got you, you're like, Kevin.
He was like, he was talking to camera, posted on X. So there you go. We could have had that conversation, but instead you decided to speak to the press, who are now, of course, coming after me because they would like to know what my response is to the things that you said. You really want to know what my response is? Grow up.
No, but he says something after. He's like, hey.
Oh, did you also, by the way, tell the press that a year after we shot LA Confidential, you flew to Savannah, Georgia while I was shooting Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil just to spend time with me? Did you tell the press that too? Or does it not fit into the victim narrative you have going? What in the world? Why would you feel the need? This is so bad. Does he have a PR team anymore? Because they should have stopped him from recording this.
This is one. It's the weirdest thing. Kevin, when he was accused of because he in court he was found innocent, but it's like you're it's going to be real hard for you to do anything. I mean, it just is. You're not Jonathan Majors where it's we're bringing him back. He's kind of coming back. But Kevin, it's maybe let some time pass and maybe you can come back in the club. But right now, saying anything is just a horrible move.
Yeah, like a horrible boss. So he's the dummy of the week simply because he's like the room and he's going like this. I can't see anything. I don't even want to read it. I don't even want to translate it for me. He's just, come on, dude. I mean, the Oscars are here. Just chill out. Just let some more time. I mean, people forgave Mel Gibson. They can forgive this and forget it, but you don't need to go, oh, really? Well, I've got to say that. Just calm it down. All right. Well, thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Chief, get better. Let's give a big Blake. I had that in my head too. Super creep. He's super creepy. Wow. Yeah. Speaking of, let's thank everybody here in the chat. Blake Tarpley, Snow Glare, Michael Solis, Jamelin Parks, Snake Eyes. The Oscars are stupid. Snow Glare, Justin Huber, the movie guy. Make sure to check out his video on the first Avenger. Ryan Daly, Michael Solis, Michael A, Sir GL Rick Cage Esquire, Harry G, Kelly Cox, David King Collector. I think I got it right now.
Snow Glare.
Yes. Badger Wolf Prime. Did I get everyone now? I think so.
Agent of Gen Z.
Thank you so much. Agent of Gen Z. And yeah. Yes, exactly. Review bombing, Brave New World for sure. And of course, tomorrow back on with another edition of Lyle's Figure Files. Where I'm talking about the new reveals on the live stream from Marvel Legends tomorrow. I can't wait. It'll be a lunch break escape for me. The video will be posted after I get home from work. And then, of course, I'll do another live talking about it. So with you all directly. So thank you so much for tuning in, Jace. We'll see you next week. For now, this episode of Lyle's Movie Files has been filed.